Hey y'all, this is my first time going live on YouTube. So let me give y'all a couple seconds to see who's all coming in. So today's topic, we're talking about shadow work and how shadow work has changed my life. I've been doing shadow work for, honestly, I feel like I've been doing it for a few years, but I didn't really know much about it until like last year when I did more research and stuff. So for those of you that don't know, shadow work is just it's basically just looking at the inner parts of yourself that you hide from the rest of the world, the parts of yourself that you are ashamed of or maybe you just don't like. Um, those things that come up when you're alone and nobody's around and nobody's there, those are the things that come up when you're doing shadow work. So it's very important, I feel like it's very important to do shadow work because you're gonna heal so much, and it's gonna free you, and then it's gonna change your life. It's literally changed my life. I used to be a person that had a lot of like childhood traumas. I've been in a few relationships, so I've gone through like breakups and just things like that. We all have our baggage, we all have traumas and things that we've gone through in this life. So I just see such a big difference in my life now versus before I did shadow work. Because before, it was easy for me to get triggered. It was easy for people to kind of like, you know, get me upset or get me in my feelings anytime that I talked about like my childhood, or anytime that I was talking about like just what I was going through, I always felt like I couldn't get through what I was talking about without feeling the need to get emotional, because I still had so many things inside that I hadn't healed. So after I did all that, y'all, my life completely changed. And now, like, I just be waking up every day, just living life. I don't be worried about nothing. I don't think about the past anymore. And yeah, life is good. God is good and life is good. So, but yeah, so how I did shadow work, I think that the best way for me personally to do shadow work is through journaling. Because when you start journaling, I know sometimes at first you might think like, oh, like what am I even gonna write? There was moments when I would want to journal, but I felt like I didn't even know what I wanted to write down. But when you pick up that pen, naturally, like, your mind is just gonna come up with things for you to write, and next thing you know, you done wrote out a whole page. So usually what I do is I got my journal that's right here, right here, y'all. This is my journal where I write down whatever, how I'm feeling throughout the day, what I'm grateful for. I write down my manifestations. I write down everything. Like, when it's time for me to go and leave this earth, this needs to go with me, because like my whole life is in there. And it's funny because I will look back at things that I wrote in like years ago, 5 6 years ago, and like literally all of those things have came to pass. So I feel like journaling is so important, it's so powerful. And you never know what traumas you have hidden inside until you start to open up, and until you start to take all those things that you have hidden inside and you start to take them out and really decompact them. Like, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like I'm not worthy? Why do I feel like I don't deserve good things? Why can't I keep a healthy relationship? Like, things like that. We all have our traumas and our things that we deal with on this earth, but it's our job to, you know what I'm saying, move past that stuff. I know that there's some people that will be 35, 40, 60 years old and they're still talking about, oh, I act this way because when I was a child, this, that, and the third. And I do empathize with everyone that has ever gone through something difficult in life, but I do feel like part of being an adult is learning to take responsibility and, you know what I'm saying, work through those things, because it's only going to hold you back, and you're just going to keep making excuses as to why you can't accomplish your goals and why you can't do this and why you can't do that, because internally you have so much trauma and you might not even know it, but it's blocking you from doing the things that you want to do. It's blocking you from being the person that you want to be, because it's just like, just think of it as like, okay, you have like the sky and it's full of clouds, and you have all those clouds in your mind, and you don't even realize like what is all stored up in there, but you know that there's a lot that needs to be, you know, worked through. Hi, CJ. I'm 24. I just turned 24 last month, April 5th. It was, oh, so a month ago today, I turned 24. So yeah, I know I'm young and I know I have so much more to learn, but I've gone through so much and I've just learned so much through life. And yeah, I feel like I have a lot of knowledge. People around me always say like how smart I am and how wise I am for my age. So yeah, I've grown so much as a person, and I'm constantly growing. I feel like life is just constantly about evolving and becoming a better version of yourself. You pretty? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, where are y'all from? What y'all doing? Let me know, like, have you guys ever done shadow work? Have you guys ever done like any type of like healing, like healing your emotional traumas or just anything in general? Have y'all gone to therapy? I've done therapy in the past. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I feel like I didn't really like it because when I went to therapy, my therapist literally told me like, "Oh, you're making my job too easy," because I'm very self-aware, and I would basically tell her what my problem was and she would just give me reassurance. But I felt like that wasn't really helping me because I'm very self-aware. So I usually have a good, like, I'm really good at like figuring out what my problem is and why I'm acting the way that I'm acting. That's all because I've done shadow work. Okay, Houston. Okay, Houston. I'm going to Houston next month. But I'm from Michigan originally, Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I live in Atlanta. I live in the Atlanta area because I'm not really like in Atlanta, but I'm in the Atlanta area. But yeah. So yeah, y'all, this is my first time going live on YouTube. I was a little nervous about it because you never know. But my goal in 2025 is to put myself out there more and to, you know what I'm saying, step outside of my comfort zone. So I'm with it. But yeah, so I created a shadow work guide that I used on myself, and it really helped me. I created it with like some journal prompts, and it asks you questions, and you just have to write it out. And you know, things like that is what's really gonna help you bring things to the surface that you didn't know you had stored inside of you. So yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description to my website so that you guys can go and check that out, because yeah, it's really good. And I'm over on TikTok, and some of the ladies over at TikTok have messaged me and told me that it's really been helping them on their journey. So let me make sure that I share that with you guys. I'm gonna put the link in the description.